Yes. Hi there. I am right now in San Diego with my friend Shushan, and we are taking this opportunity. Yes, I'm tagging her. We're taking this opportunity to be able to connect with you. As you know, I committed to doing 30 days of Facebook Lives, and today was going to be about how you show up. Now, listen, there's noise behind me. I'm going to be louder than the noise, right? We're going to beat out the noise.
We are going to beat out the noise.
And we thought this would be an interesting conversation because sometimes we don't show up for ourselves, we show up for others. Sometimes we think we don't even need to show up because we know it all. So if you're one of those people that thinks they know it all, then listen, because this is really important. So why am I here? Well, Shushan was telling me about somebody who's been mentored her. Turns out we've had very similar mentors, and we just really connected last year. But we've been trained by probably about a dozen or 20 or more of the same people and had never met before. So it's interesting how we get attracted to people that are likeness. People always say opposites attract, but I want you to know it's similarities that keep us together, not just in partner relationships, but in girlfriends, gentlemen relationships, all the others. That's so important. So we thought this would be a good conversation to talk about what we do and how we invest in ourselves. So if there's something that you're doing, or do you think you know it all? I think that's where we started with the conversation.
Yes, we did.
Do you think you know it all? So what do you want to talk about in the sense of knowing it all, where people think they know everything?
There's a lot to be said about showing up as a student, as a beginner to anything. Like you and I are going to be attending this, amazing training for 3 days. You and I have been through so many of these, but the fact that we're showing up saying, what else can we take from this? What did we not hear the first time or second time that we learned this is absolutely important, because we're constantly growing.
Yes.
And doing work on ourselves, and even if it was taught before, it doesn't mean you heard it, or you heard it at the level that you are today. Every day you're a different person.
That's true.
So appreciate you, Lisa.
Same
because it's what you were saying about opposites attract, but likes attract as well.
Absolutely.
And we have so many filters that are similar. So that's why we get along. We feel like we've known each other for 100 years, right?
It's true.
But and we do similar things, but we speak about it differently, which also has been so beautiful about getting to know you, because you just bring another perspective to what I do that I so appreciate.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And same here. And Alan just said, I'm always a student mode, and I'm with you. I'm like, when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot. So I'm always out there, and I'm always going to learn. I find something new to learn from anybody every single day. And Shushan and I literally just got in this morning, actually this afternoon. This afternoon into San Diego. She came from Manhattan. I came from New Jersey. And we both were talking about, we're going to this event. It's a 3-day event. We said, well, what do we want to take away from it? And what we really were saying is we have both want different nuggets, which was really intriguing to even hear the perspective of what we were looking for. And going into any scenario, I always believe if I pull out one thing, then I'm ahead of the game. That's all I need to do. And sometimes what I do is not even going for the event, but going for the people.
Right.
Because I'm going to learn as much from Shushan as I will in the room as a student. And I think sometimes we miss the opportunities. You may have someone who you've met who's meant to teach you something, and you're thinking the answer is in the other direction.
Right.
So I think it's always a different way to look at anything.
Yeah, and I can't wait until we compare notes after the 3 days, right? Because we're going to have so many different ideas on what we can take to implement. It's not only just taking the one thing, but actually implementing it. One of my mentors told me this a long time ago: learn, do, learn, do, learn, do, because I was in constant learning mode.
Right.
And that's also another mistake I think people make.
They do.
Right? So there's a balance there between always being a student or always thinking that you got it. So you have to do both.
And it's taking action. And the other day I did a Facebook Live about taking imperfect action, because I found that there were so many clients I was dealing with where they just want to get it right. I'll do it when I understand all of it. I need to see the whole picture first.
Right.
And sometimes you can't see the whole picture right away, and you just have to trust the process. What has Karen said? One of, if not the best and most influential leaders I ever worked with. Cool. Awesome. And here's the piece also. So we were talking about this event and what we wanted to take away from it. And one of the things I go into any event, and I thought this would be an interesting conversation, is how we see it. I go into any event of saying, if I just pick up one thing that I can apply that can change myself or my business, then it's a win. So what do you usually look for when you do an event?
Oh my goodness. When I'm doing it, or
Well,
if
when
I'm
you're
going
attending.
When I'm attending.
When you're not the facilitator.
For me, the most important is the audience, the people that show up. Oh my gosh, I just realized who was saying that.
It's your guy.
I know, it's my guy. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're like my best fan ever, all time. Thank you.
But you were giving me credit. Thank you so much. But I didn't recognize the name, and I figured
it's your Facebook Live, so I didn't realize that my people are watching too. So. But for me, it's the people that show up, and that tells me a lot about the facilitator or the person that's teaching, the people they're drawing in.
Oh, okay.
So that's a very big thing for me, and always love seeing people that are different than me, because they bring out my blind spots, and I learn things that I would have never learned before. So it's the audience for me.
Awesome. So and here's the funny thing is how many people miss who's right next to them, who's sitting right next to them, that they're supposed to learn something from, right? Now here's what's cool is that we both met at a mastermind,
right,
which was very cool. And when we had met at that mastermind, there was like 30 women there.
Yeah.
And it was us
very influential and powerful women.
Yeah, and it was us who connected, and from that moment, it was like as if we knew each other forever, and we were comparing notes in the sense of studies, interests, education, how we wanted it to help people and make a difference, and it was pretty amazing how we followed those steps. And here's what's so interesting even about all these trainings is you can go to the trainings, and a lot of people do, but I think it ends up having to do with as much about applied knowledge, but even more about who you align yourself with. And not just at the events, but what do you take from it, and how do you use that in the future to grow yourself, grow your business, your relationships, and what are you watering? I saw a great meme the other day, and it actually said, the grass is greener where you water it, right? So the question would be, and we have all these people on with us, find something about everyone we meet, absolutely. Hi Judy. The question is, where are you watering your plants? Like, where are you watering your grass? Where are you spending your time? And is it giving you the outcome that you want? Or are you looking over at your neighbors and saying their grass is greener, but you're not doing what they're doing? Right? So anything you want to contribute to that?
Oh,
here's
we're
a train.
Competing with the train.
See
right.
the train? The train's over there.
We're competing
train
with the
is
train.
winning. Thank you, Judy. Judy went through the NAP Coaching Academy.
Awesome.
And Judy is an amazing, amazing businesswoman. She owns a plastic company who makes parts, and also actually has been sending it to the military and has been contributing them.
Wow.
She's really huge.
That's awesome.
She's awesome. And
well, you learn from the best.
and she's just also started a nonprofit, and she's going to be helping a lot of people. She's really a force for good. She's amazing.
Yeah.
So yes, you're welcome, Judy. You don't have to thank me. I'm just saying what's already true, hon.
Yeah.
So, so what else can we tell you? Well, I'm going to tell you we're going to be doing something that's really important. We're going to be making sure that the time here that we're spending here, not just for education, is about connecting with other people, learning from them, growing, also having fun, which, by the way, 8 to 10 years ago, I had put down a value I wanted more of, and it was to have fun. And Judy, my friend Gigi, Gigi looked at that paper one day and she goes, "Can you do that?" And I said, "I don't know, but I'm going to learn." And today I actually have it as my middle name. So us being here was also about having an amazing lunch at this beautiful seafood place and enjoying the ambiance and the food. And now we're walking over to the water so we can see the boats and take that in before.
There's a boat show, yeah.
There's a boat show, because we know that we'll be sitting in a room for 3 days and probably want to have our parkers on. It'll be so cold here in San Diego, we'll freeze. But we're going to make the best of it. And what else do we want to talk about?
So can I tell a little parable?
Sure.
So one of my favorite ones, this student is constantly in search of, masters to learn from. And so he studies many different things, and he's on a search for his next master. So he travels the weeks, the months to get to whatever mountaintop this master is, so that he can learn from them. And when he gets there, And he starts talking about all the things that he's done, all the things that he studied, all the things that he knows. And, you know, he's trying to impress the master. And so then he sits and asks the master, what, you know, so I'm here to learn, what can you teach me? And the master says, there's absolutely nothing. And the student looks very surprised and says, but why? I came all this way, weeks, months, I seeked you out. And he looked at him and said, I cannot fill a cup that's already full. So that's one of my favorite things that I usually go to remind myself to always know that can't go there with the full cup, right?
Wow, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
we have to empty the cup so we can make room for more.
Yep.
So if your cup is full and you don't have room to be able to take in other things, what a great thought and something to ponder on, right?
Yeah.
I love that. That's very cool. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is our Facebook Live for today. Come back and visit us tomorrow because my 30-day commitment, I will be here. There will always be another conversation, another topic.
Yeah.
Share if you got some value from it. We love you. Have a wonderful day and to be continued.